I lost my headphones, but I found them. It's okay. Hurry. I'm coming. Woo. Oh, I know what I need to do. I'm no longer being attacked. Green screen is fighting me. We doing? What's happening? Who am I? Oh, my head? What's happened to my head? Oh my god, this is a very unflattering shot, isn't it? Look. Terrible. Let's do that. Do that. That's more flattering, isn't it? Lean back in the chair. So I look less tubby. Hello! No, that's we gotta sort this out. We gotta sort my head out. Some sort of maybe cosmetic surgery. Let's pan around. Oh, no, no. I don't want to pan, that's the wrong one. There we go, that would be perfect. Hello? Hello. Oh, let me 1 second. I've undone my hello. I mean, I've streamed before. You know I have. And that's why I know all these. And I just deal with everything so well. Now I'm gonna tweet. That's the one. I'm gonna tweet out that I'm streaming. I am streaming about like Star Citizen stuff. Star Citizens. No, that's not even. I haven't spelled Star Citizen with any of the right letters. Stuff on HTTP. So Twitch.tv or Gamer UK. Come say hi and ask some questions. Hashtag BoredGamer. Hashtag. Sorry, Octothorpe. BoredGamer Octothorpe. And post that. Discord the Maboo. And then let's close Discord. Great issues. Perfect. That's. Hi! Hello! I'm BoredGamer. Hope you're doing well. Hello, hello. If you'd like to ask some questions, question in brackets. Bushballad. No, so I've got an older contract. Twitch and stuff, and I believe their contracts have changed relatively recently as well. I can't talk about other people's contracts because I don't know what they are. I signed on a long time ago. Have to discuss it with, if you're looking for ways of doing it yourself, you have to discuss it with partner manager and see what contract you've got, because I suspect that either they're commonly available now or not available at all now. I don't know. Hope everyone's doing well though. We've got a few things to talk about today. I'm about to go on holiday, so I need to, after this stream, I need to do a bit more packing and get some videos that I've got planned or scheduled. So me, Zin, her partner, and some of our friends going to a Airbnb that we went to, I believe, again last year, or maybe earlier in this year, last year, to play board games and to drink and eat, that sort of jazz. So it should be a good laugh. Pretty chill is the hope. I've got a 5-hour 20 train journey to get there. I am travelling the furthest to get there because they like to put it as far away from my house as they can in England. Up in up sort of around Leeds, Manchester area. So I'm looking forward to that. But that does mean I'm very busy today, and I thought I'd stream quickly before, because I'm not going to be back until Friday night. So not a whole week, but quite a long time. I won't be able to stream again realistically until 2 weeks Monday. Not this Monday. Monday after. No worries, Bruce, mate. Happy to help. I will answer any questions I can to the best of my ability. Can you talk a bit about the controversy? Can you talk a bit about the controversy with releasing more big concept ships rather than finishing the foundations of the game first, already existing concept ships? Both sides have good points. So, Noah, my point of view is if Cloud Imperium are producing more ships than they are concepting, then bringing more out to flyable, and they're clearing out the backlog to some extent, then I'm relatively happy. And when it comes to ship production, specifically ship production, you've got to remember that Cloud Imperium need to make new ships. Well, they don't need to, but they should be making new ships to keep their huge profits going. They're not going to go, let's stop making ships, concepts, and straight to fireballs because, we should finish the game. Well, how are they going to finish the game if they don't constantly get more money? And why would they throw away good revenue streams for something that doesn't cause very much controversy? It causes a bit. There are some people that are a bit annoyed. However, there are a lot more people that put a lot more money into the game when new ships and stuff are added. And I do want more ships. I want loads and loads and loads and loads of ships. Oh no, what have I done? It's alright, I've dropped something. Fine, it's not my phone. I want loads of stuff in game. And after 10 years, I want... Obviously, we've been about a decade of development. Another 10 years, I want loads more ships. And I'm fine with them selling ships even after they've released the game. Just as long as it's also going to be available in-game, I don't really mind. As long as it's not sort of done in a... as long as it's not so aggressively monetized and pay to win. Do you know what I mean? Like, Star Citizen wouldn't exist in the way that it does without its monetization model. There is artificial scarcity, there is FOMO, there is sort of those senses of predatory monetary practices. However, everything can be just bought in game. So, and as I always say in all of my videos, and that concern ship purchases and ship buys guides, get it in game, especially with vehicles and things. You only need a starter package. So, the other thing is, I'm fine with Cloud Imperium going, look, we've got another concept ship that we're going to be planning to do. It's a big one. It's going to be a while before it's in. We still haven't finished the Endeavour and the Banner Merchantman and stuff like that. Some of these that they're working on, they are clearing out the backlog. I mean, they are. Look at that. A lot of people, I think, are going... I saw Montoya's video on it, saying, oh, there's a 20-year backlog on ships. There's not. There's just not. Maybe when they were a tiny studio, but they are massive now and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. They've got new studios. They've got a load of people working on different things. The people that work on ships can also technically work on environments and that sort of stuff as well. But they've got enough people to work on all the environments they want and a load of ships. And as they get more and more and more and more devs, they can work on more and more and more ships. So, yeah, I'm super okay with it. It could get to a point where... No, they've also moved past the point where they're doing a concept ship every couple of months. Yeah, we see like 1 or 2 concept ships a year. Almost everything else is straight to flyable, and then and making ships that were in concept flyable. So, yeah, it's something that certainly people have conversations about, and so it'd be like, but where are some of these older ships? Sorry if you hear me slurping, but my stream, deal with it. Do I know how much the RSI Galaxy will be? No, but as I said earlier in the stream, typing to you before it started, $600 to $900 based on its modules. So the RSI Galaxy, for people that don't know, is and let's chuck the actual... chuck my video up in the background very briefly. The RSI Galaxy, for people that don't know, is the latest concept ship that Cloud Imperium are making, which is going to be unveiled in an hour or two, and properly, and sort of like go on actual concept sale. It is a bigger than a Constellation. It's the Constellation's big brother, as you can see there. It's quite a bit bigger, and it's got its own hangar, and it's not really supposed to be a ship of war. It's got a little bit of armament and defense for its size, but yeah, it's got this rear relatively large hangar, and then the major point of it is modularity. So it can be set up for at least 3 different things that we're aware of: medical gameplay, refinery gameplay, and cargo gameplay. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that sort of pans out. I like relatively big ships. I like the idea of a modular ship that isn't focused on combat. It looks really cool. I like the look of it, and I'm looking forward to learning a bit more. But yeah, I think it's a cooler ship. I do expect there to be an Emerald Galaxy Phoenix to match Chris Roberts' favourite ship, the Connie. So what you want the green version. There probably will be a green skin eventually. What else have we got? But yeah, I really liked the Galaxy sort of way that it sounds. Obviously, some people don't like the idea of Cloud Imperium making more ships. I mean, that's cool. I don't mind. Oh, Summer you're a beautiful boy. Thank you very much to my mods, by the way. Especially Summer today. You are today's favourite chief mod. You've been promoted today to chief moderator on YouTube, not on Discord, because that's Huntress, obviously. She is. Who has the ability to get me to do pretty much anything that she requests. Bored, go and do this podcast with this guy, okay? Thanks. Sort of, she's helped me out so much, and is a great little PA. When does the day switch over for the IAE? It's 4 p.m. every day, 4 p.m. UTC. Hour and 50 minutes. An hour and 40 minutes. That's what I actually mean. Thank you very much for the money, Luck Dragon! Without an exploration module, I'm not interested. I also just achieved Space Marshal and won't be buying any more ships out of game. That is fine and fair enough, Luck Dragon. Space Marshal is a... well done. I say well done, you monster. But yes, buy the rest of the stuff in game. See, one of the things as well is that I suspect you will be buying a lot more of the same ship in game as well. Like, you'll want different, lots of the same ship or different ships around the verse eventually, like I do with Eve. Endeavour's very much underpriced. Yeah, but $1,000 for the master set is still pretty expensive, eh? It's only cheap without the modules. I suppose it's a pretty big ship. That's a good point. What sort of price do we think the ship's going to be with all the modules? Yeah, probably $1,000. So the RSI Galaxy with all the modules I would expect to be close to $1,000. Maybe we'll be surprised and it's not as expensive as that, but... Do you think there will be a delay of the drop of 3.18 after the IAE? So, I mean, it's being tested and all that sort of stuff, 3.18. I'm hoping that Cloud Imperium will be able to make the sort of early to mid-December date for a live build. I'm not sure if it's going to have all of the features that 3.18 had promised in its initial release. So I suspect that we will probably see a little bit more in like 3.18.1. That's my expectation at the moment. Zin's unsure, whether it's even going to be a live build this year and maybe just open PTU. You can expect 3.18 to probably move pretty fast once it's gone into first wave PTU, and I would expect first wave PTU early December. It's going to be first wave PTU and then a week or two before live. That would be my expectation. A lot of people are asking about 3.18. So Hull C is mostly done, as far as I'm aware. They were just waiting for the cargo refactor to just shore up a couple of things. So I think we'll see it potentially as part of the 3.18 cycle, but more likely, I suppose, the next major patch should have the Hull C now. Do you think we may see a straight-to-flyable RSI ship today? No. So I think the only thing we're getting, as far as I'm aware, is the RSI Galaxy concept. I don't think there's anything else new going. I'm really enjoying the skits from RSI with... actually, let's show them. Let's put these bad boys on. Really enjoying these.
Liberty, ingenuity, equality.
The IAE.
These ideals
little videos
connect each and every one of us
awesome.
Across this vast empire.
This time, just doing a little tiny short one each day.
I want you all to meet the 2952 Cutter from Drake Interplanetary. Oh yeah.
I think we'll have Pyro by next CitizenCon.
Embodies those ideals that we are truly
Genuinely.
democratizing spaceflight.
Who needs to hire talent when the aerospace CEOs are dying to get on camera? Hey, Jimmy?
It's all about the hard-working people of the UEE. That's why we're excited to sponsor the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo
So Drake doing the war at home
See you in Stanton.
sort of vibe, which is bringing sort of these militia and military-styled civilian ships into the hands of citizens. This was done really well because no one knew if Jax was actually going to be at this year's IAE, and that was the point.
What in the unholy hell? They think I'm dead? Unbelievable! Bob! I cannot believe that they moved on without me. After everything
And Star
I did
Citizen
for them, would a call have
make
killed them?
amazing
Oh, hey, Jax, do you want to come
shorts
back,
and
host the
skits.
show? I'm sorry.
The writing
Jax
for it's
can't
actually
take
pretty
your
good as
call
well.
because he's dead. Bob! Bob, now,
The little settlement on Pyro.
I need to take the corset.
Right, sorry.
Good one.
Yeah, I came out here to get inspired, and I've just been hanging around, tending to my garden, and pillaging and plundering with you lot.
Are you talking to me?
You don't understand, Bob. My bosses have killed me off screen. Yeah, I've got to get back to Stanton. Is this ship flight ready?
Whoa! Whoa, Jax! But you can't have my ship.
Oh, come on, Bob. You owe me. You stole my Odyssey right when I got to Pyro.
But you stole it back.
And crashed it.
And crashed it.
Fair point. Did the boys already chop that new Drake cutter?
Now, I told you I'm keeping that one. I kind of like it. Handle's nice.
Bob, please.
No.
But it's just sitting there.
You know what, Jax? Fine. If it'll keep you out of trouble for a while, you can borrow the cutter.
Thank you, Bob.
I said borrow.
Thanks, Bob.
Jax!
Bye.
Don't fly angry!
So I just
Right.
like the writing there,
Leon?
like genuinely the exchange
okay.
and even
right.
the facial expressions.
Jax McCleary here. Obviously, I'm not dead. Just thought you should know. Looks like we're going back to
I
Stanton.
also like the incompetent boomerness of this as well.
Here
Which is,
we go! Okay. Throttle's over here. Interesting. That does make a little bit more sense. Okay. Here we go.
so they made a little short update for these, one each day for the IAE.
It was right where he said it was!
About Jack's trying to get back to Stanton.
We tracked your little Drake ship here to kill you!
Well, guys, I do know my way around an 890, and since your hideout's a derelict Origin super yacht, I may as well take advantage, so...
Come on, Jax! Stay for a treat!
It's kind of you, really. It is kind, but I've got to get back to Stanton, so I'll just say bye-bye.
We'd love to have you for dinner. What did I say?
It's
Whoa!
Nicely
no need
silly.
To resort to fisticuffs to decide whose Aegis ship is the better.
Are they nine tails? I don't think so. I think all of the sort of people they've shown are unaffiliated gangs and just general outlaws and denizens of
versus Saber. Let's settle this thing once and for all. Sans violence. I mean,
sort
I
of,
used to do this kind of
pirate
thing on my
area.
show all the time. Are they ready? Sounds good. See, we've arranged a tower of barrels for
I just love the
each ship
incompetence of it.
blast. Each ship has the standard factory loadout. So let's see how that Gellinson Mantis GT220... Oh!
It's like to say the Saber gets shot in the rear by a missile. Could have been the missile that the Gladius fired, or it could have been someone on the ground firing a missile.
It finally happened. I got hit with one of those famous pyro solar flares, and the cutter has frankly, well, not been herself. But by good fortune of the Banu god of backwaters, I found this marketplace. Ah, my good man. Do you happen to have a power coupling for a... Ooh. Are those Vandal parts? Now, tell me, are those Esperia replicas, or, are they the real deal?
You like to walk on the wild side, man? I can dig it. I can assure you these parts... Whoa. Are you recording this, man?
Oh, no, it's not what you think.
Whoa, not cool, man. Whoa, not cool.
But I'm super cool.
Whoa.
It's
bad for the
okay,
guy.
I'm
I
cool.
feel bad for him. No, he's not even real. I feel bad that he's being recorded. It bummed out his high. He was such a chill dude.
No, it's all wrong. Well, the RSI Galaxy prototype didn't show, and now the piece is a mess. Well, figure out how to punch this up while I go prep the anvil segment. Oh, come on, Jimmy, you're supposed to be good at this.
My only problem I have is that all of the female hairstyles and male hairstyles are very limited. Like no long hair, and I want hair is and even facial hair is very descriptive and sort of important to give diversity to people. Hair
Pick
updates and facial hair
yourself up,
updates
mate.
would be
No time
good.
to feel sorry for you. Hello?
Oh my god! Oh my god, this one is crazy! He's poking him with this...
Still alive. Oh, there's one of those new Anvil C8R ambulance
They've been
snuffs
sort
I've
of-
heard about.
Showing off the new ships and stuff in these little skits.
Oh, hey, Jimmy. Hey. Wait, you've been watching these videos, right? Oh, this one's crazy. Oh, seriously? Oh, it's great stuff. Jax has been beaming it from Pyro. Oh,
What?
But we'll have you back out there, patched up and saving lives as soon as we possibly can. If I can work out how to use this built-in med bed.
Jimmy? Where did he go?
So what? Jimmy's going to rescue
Now, a
Jax
local
eventually,
homesteader
right?
has kindly agreed to provide me with the parts I need for the cutter on the condition that I figure out what's wrong with his mole. Now, in my experience, these Argo beasts rarely break down, so it's anybody's guess.
I didn't know what
what the
creature
issue is.
that was immediately.
Okay, let's see what we can see.
It did as soon as they fall
Pretty
out.
good. Okay.
Like,
All right.
just everywhere. Sort of.
Okay. Yeah, almost got it. Oh, ugh.
Other than fish, I believe this is the creature they've had in the game for the longest. It's the horseshoe grey crab.
Well, I fixed it. The mole should run fine now. I do have some bad news, though. You got crabs. Come on. That was close. So, I kind of crashed my cutter. Well, Bob's cutter. Don't tell Bob. Right into a racer and their trusty Cyclone RC.
I suspect
Yeah. Well,
this is a
fortunately,
racetrack.
the rest of the competitors here
At Pyro
agreed
on the
not
ground.
to murder me if I took the incapacitated racer's place in the upcoming heat. Let's see if I can beat my time on the tumbrel test track.
Jimmy has the best basic for it. It's nice.
Shit. I'm all right. I'm all right. Okay, nobody cares.
Oh no, this isn't. I don't want the super talk. I want the next. Bear with me. I want the next video. Where's part 8? Huh. Weird. Let me find part 8 quick. Because it's
So, with my
pretty
cutter
cool.
out of commission, I've stowed away in the extra-large hold of this MISC Freelancer Max. I should be through the Stanton jump point, and I've landed at a nearby rest stop. Ready?
You can tell by the light that we're not
Freedom!
in Stand Whistle and Pyro.
No!
There's a bit of a flare star going on from the dangers.
No, I mean, it cannot
Oh.
be happening
This is
to me! There you
Ruin
get well,
Station.
man.
Ruin Station.
You mean I'm still in Pyro? This rate, I'll miss next.
so. I just want to go back there. So very excited for Ruin Station just because of how oppressive and cool it looks. Yeah, very much looking forward to that. I think it's going to be a good laugh, and it's good to know that they've obviously got a lot of the pyro setup done. Yeah.
No! No!
Yeah, there's some big ships there, isn't there? Is that a Kraken? What people are thinking? That's a Kraken there? Obviously that's Caterpillar. Hard to tell from the blurs and the angles with my bad eyes. But yeah, some cool stuff. And we've got more cool stuff in about an hour and a half from the IAE. So power through some of these questions that assumedly 3.18 next week. So early to mid December is when we're expecting live, and obviously first wave PTU before that. Do you think CIG will break their income records this year? They already have. NVIDIA 101. So they're over not 91, 95 million or something. So last year they made 86.5 million. This year they broke that before the IAE started, or like on the first day of the IAE. So yes, I think they're probably going to raise 110 million from this year alone. That's my current estimate. It's a ridiculous amount of money, eh? But there's been some cool ships. I mean, a lot of people are really digging the Corsair. Yeah, I think the Corsair is genuinely a fantastic multi-role, obviously slightly more exploration focused, a multi-crew mission runner ship that competes with the Mercury Star Runner and the 400i and the Constellations. That's where it's placed, and I think it's in a good place there. With the promise of sort of exploration gameplay in the future. We've got the Drake Cutter, which is a cool little, not as combat-y starter ship. Many of them are. But it's got a really good deal at the moment where you can get it for $45 with a game package. And then actually worth a bit more than that. So $10 more after you buy that would get you an Avenger Titan. Ha! Isn't that good? But I'm sort of excited about that. And then we've had the Medical Pisces, the C8R. It's a cool little mini ambulance, which is just a small version of the Cutlass Red, really. I'm sort of half a Cutlass Red. I think, yeah, it's got a space in the verse. And then we're looking forward to the RSI Galaxy today, which is not really a combat ship, but can be sort of outfitted for medical cargo or refining gameplay, and maybe some more stuff in the future. The more exciting thing, though, is that Cloud Imperium are talking about modularity again, and they're saying, look, we're focusing on modularity relatively soon, and it's a big part of the game. This is one of the ships that we're making that clear with, I suppose. What are we? Oh dear. I'll let that update while I go through these questions. Do you know if there's any news about hidden cargo space in ships? No new news on that. I believe that's going to be a thing as part of like the scanning and cargo refactor stuff that's coming later. So don't expect it for a while. Maybe part of the resource system as well, I suppose, because of how detections and scanning works with that. So it will be a thing in the future to some extent, whether that's hidden on ships, in shielded parts, shielded cargo containers, whatever. Regarding your comments on the ship production backlog, you should check out some of the posts on Reddit that are using Fleet Viewer graphics to show what's been delivered versus concept only sold. I've seen all of the stuff as well. I've seen it on Toys videos. They are clearing out a lot more than they're sort of adding. You can argue that some of the larger ships are complicated and take a while, but I mean that should be because of the sort of how refined the pipelines are and how many assets have been built up for those other manufacturers, and because they're getting more staff who are actually more trained, more capable, and their priorities should be shifting to completing all of that stuff out when they've got more staff in. We should see a marked speed up in production even. How big should a cargo hold when a pre-sale of a ship? I don't know what that means, sorry. I confused that. Do we know anything regarding changing ship modules in terms of if there's waiting time for the modules to be changed? So it should be, from what they described, relatively easy to change. I would expect you would need some form of facilities that would be available at some space stations and landing zones. But it was like, this day you want to do this gameplay, next day you want to do this gameplay, next day you want to do this gameplay, and you'll be able to do that and change it. And that's basically what the ship's about. You can change it relatively quickly and easily, and that's going to be the same with a lot of the other modular type ships, assumedly like the Caterpillar. Do you think we'll see the Galaxy next year? I think we'll see updates to the Galaxy next year. I reckon they'll get the sort of after the Banu Merchantman, or around the same time as the Banu Merchantman, they'll be also working on like the Polaris and the Perseus, things like that. Would be my expectation. Can you not grow more hair on my head? I can, yeah, but it sort of grows like I'm a monk. Sort of like grows here and at the back, but not at the front or at the top anymore. I used to have a beautiful mohawk. Do people know what a mohawk looks like? I didn't just, I mean, I could do this, but I don't anymore, and I'm a bald bastard. Do you think the Apollo is viable when the Galaxy can do more? Can it do more? The sort of Apollo has those search and rescue drones for bringing people in. It's going to be able to get into more areas. It's more modular in its medical gameplay. So sort of bear that in mind. The Apollo being much more of a dedicated medical ship, but smaller. Actually, less range on the Apollo. Any news on when they will fix the Argo raft elevator? I'm assuming it's going to be done for 3.18. Do ships need more windows? Some of them probably do. They are going to be going over and sort of bringing them all up to gold standard and tweaking some of them a little bit. Don't expect any major reworks to the ships really anymore, but you might see a few little tweaks here and there, and then they might go, well, actually, we've got time to really improve some bits of these ones and others. A lot of the ships need to be set up for physical components and the resource system, so they have to move some bits around. As long as this is taking, do you think it would get Pyro and Nyx at the same time? No, not at the same time, but I do think we'll see Nyx within probably a couple of quarters after Pyro. That's my expectation. But that's an optimistic expectation at the moment. We'll see what Clan Imperium are going to be saying, but we do know they're working on Nyx at the same time. I understand that CIG needs to sell concept ships. That's the business model. What I don't like is that there's no accountability. If I give them $600 for the Galaxy, when will I get it? So there's a level of accountability there, yeah. So you can ask for a refund within like 14 days. I know that's not ideal, or I think maybe up to 28 in some situations. Now, you're basically taking a risk with the pledge of that. You don't know when it's going to be in game, and they have told you they don't know when it's going to be in game, but it will be in game at some point. Yeah. Now that's the risk. The risk is the amount of time there. So I don't know what form of accountability would you want. What do you think is viable? What do you want? Because they are the most open company for game design that ever has been. Like, they are giving us a huge amount of development information. They're not giving it all. It is open development, but it's not glass walls and ceiling and floors development. We can't see everything, but we can see the most that any company has ever been able to show of development. I think that's probably fair. There might be some weird exceptions, especially when it comes to like small single developers or whatever. But certainly when we're talking about large scale developers, by far the most sort of transparent. But I'm not sure what sort of level of accountability you'd want to see that would make you happy, because you're saying there's no accountability. Well, we can hold them to account with not buying any more ships, by talking about them, by asking questions, by generally being in the community and poking stuff and talking about it, as we do. Yeah, like, and that's the reason we have these discussions now, and why people are some people are annoyed that they're still producing more and more ships and more concept ships, even though they haven't finished the other ones. Whereas some people are saying, no, like this is sort of fine, because they are clearing out the backlog and they are finishing off a lot more ships than they are concepting. So You want to see BoredGamer sort of logo on the side of my head? That would probably be quite easily done. Not myself. I wouldn't be able to do it myself because that would look ridiculous. I was going to use a different word there, but then I realised that's probably not appropriate. But that's how it was going to look. Any idea why the Odyssey is 700 and the Carrack is 600? Odyssey's bigger and has Quantanium sovereignty. Has the ability to farm its own Quantanium fuel, but it's a bigger ship. I'd say they're about even when it comes to exploration, although there's slightly different focus with the Carrack being more of a mapper pathfinder and having those drones, and the Odyssey being more of a stay out in the verse much more for a longer period of time because it can farm Quantanium potentially indefinitely. As long as it can solve its food and, I suppose, other fuel. But assumedly, it might be... watch your content but never see you stream. Well, that's now a lie, Mythic, because you've seen me stream. I aspire to be a big streamer. I just got rid of my freelance max for Corsair. What do you think? I love the Corsair. I'm not a fan of the freelancers, so I think that's a good choice. I think the Corsair's awesome. And if you aspire to be a big streamer and or content creator, just keep on trying new stuff and don't be afraid to make mistakes. And talk to community and sort of cherish your community. Do you think we'll see the Galaxy in game before the Polaris? Oh, good question. No, I think we'll see the Polaris first. That's my expectation anyway. Okay, so some people think closer to sort of like 700, 800 for the Galaxy RSI Galaxy for all the modules and the ship. That's because the Endeavour costs 1,000 for everything. That's probably fairer. Okay. Yeah. So people, you don't need to buy any of the ships beyond a starter pack. $45 starter pack, bam, done. I do recommend if you buy, like you're looking to buy now, get yourself a Drake Cutter package, $45, bam. Upgrade it to an Avenger Titan if you want something a bit more for another $10. Oh, exciting. But don't let that be a slippery slope. Do you think we'll see a big drop with 4.0? Yes, a huge drop. With pyro and jump points and server meshing. Lots of cool stuff coming with 4.0. Don't you think that concept cells with still years of potential development time should be sold at large discounts of 50% instead of a few dollars? Well, the original ships sort of were, like Abandoned Merchantman was originally $250. Yeah? Carrack was originally $250, I think. Maybe $350, but I think it was $250. That's now $600. I think the Abandoned Merchantman's going to be originally, eventually $800. They've sort of crept up quite a lot in price as they've refined the pipeline and the sort of monetization model has changed a bit and as they get closer to sort of delivery. Why do Americans pronounce solder as solder? Why do they say herbs as herbs? A lot of people have put a lot of money into Star Citizen. I think so if you take all of the accounts, like the 4.2 million, maybe question mark, all of the Star Citizen accounts, I think it's each citizen on average has spent $120. Yeah, and obviously a lot of those accounts have spent nothing. So of the accounts that have spent money, that's going to be a huge amount more, probably close to $200 that each citizen has spent on average. Good morning. Could we see Discounted Squadron 42 add-on disappearing as we move into 2023? Yeah, I thought it had disappeared, the discounted one. I suppose maybe they just divided it up so that it wasn't a part of the normal packages. That's what I'm thinking of. How do you feel about next year's IAE being at Lawville 2.0? Yes, sponsored by Go. Yeah, definitely at Lawville. Unless Pyro's red. No, it would be in Lawville. They wouldn't put it in Pyro. Concerned about the toilets in the ships. No loo paper. Do they have... They just have the seashells. Seashells. Does the mule fit into the cutter? I think it does barely. You can certainly get a small vehicle in there, although it can be a squeeze. What else have we got? Can we get your thoughts on the backlog of large ships? I've talked about that earlier, but as I said, sort of the backlog of large ships, as long as they are clearing out more backlog than they are producing with new concept ships and are making more ships than they're waiting on, I'm sort of happy. Do you think we'll see a rival for the Genesis? So we have the 890 Jump, which is sort of more VIP transport. We've got the the Spirit E1, which is again a VIP transport ship. Are the tests from Ivacati running smoothly in terms of expecting Pyro to come out early next year? Can't talk about the specifics of the Ivacati tests at the moment. So I would expect to see Pyro tests sort of mid next year, and potentially Pyro Q3 next year. At the moment, that's my expectation. You were cray with your load of Banu Merchants. However, I have a load of Banu Merchants as well because I bought loads a while ago when they were cheap. Because I wanted them for giveaways in the future. When the ship was done, I was expecting the Banu Merchant to already be out, but because it hasn't, it's grown in price significantly, so there'll be good little giveaways in the future. What do you think's better? Perseus, Polaris, or Idris M? Idris M. By far. It's a military, expensive frigate, which is pretty rare. So, ooh! 53 months, Robert Johnston. Thank you very much. Silicon Samurai. I appreciate the ridiculously long subscription. You legend. Thank you. My computer is outdated at the moment, so I'm out of my package. When will Squadron 42 not be on sale and get pictures? Don't know. I'd have to do some research. Many negative comments in this stream. What? I will not be upgrading or buying Galaxy or Odyssey. There remains too many unanswered questions. CIG may be open, but management is dreadful. I don't necessarily agree. I mean, don't buy expensive ships, full stop. Just buy a starter pack and get everything else in game. That is what I recommend to 99.5% of people. There are obviously some people that really want to back the project, have large disposable incomes, or just spare cash, or really believe in the project, or are in love with a ship and it literally makes them happier by owning it. Those people, consider your choices carefully. You don't need to buy everything, and you can earn these things in game by playing the game that you potentially love. But I don't agree that the management is dreadful, at least not anymore. Since sort of 2017 to 2018, they got a huge amount better. Sort of 2015, 2016, a lot of roller coaster ride. But I think they're hugely better. And obviously they're expanding out their studios. And I talk to a lot of CIG employees, ex-ones, current ones. I've got friends at CIG, which I talk to regularly. They talk to me candidly. And I would not agree that the management is bad. It is a lot more organised than it has been previously. Since sort of like 2018, 2019, it's got huge amounts better. And with these new studios, I think they're shoring that up. However, I mean, feel free to literally do your own research and believe whatever you want. I do think it's fair to go, I'm not buying any more ships. Yeah, all you need is a starter ship anyway. Then you can wait. Especially if you're unsure or you see too many red flags, just go, bam, not spending any more money on that. That's fine. That's reasonable. That makes you a sensible human. When is the Odyssey going to be released? We don't know. We don't know. I feel accountability would be best shown as giving themselves as well as us a time frame to turn concepts around. Would you agree? I don't think that's viable with the way they work. I understand what you're saying. That would be great if they could stick to any form of time frame. But the way they do development, it is development as a service almost, and there is so much going on that they just go, we will get there, but it's going to be a while. And some of these ships are obviously they do a lot more straight to flyables as well now, and obviously they're not doing a concept ship every 2 months. They're doing like 1 or 2 a year. I mean, that would be a viable alternative if they could stick to timeframes and gave us rough timeframes. Robert Johnston gifted 5 subs. Oh, thank you very much. I didn't even know that was a thing that I'd enabled on my channel. That is legendary. So on my YouTube, you can gift channel memberships. That is appreciated. Thank you very much, Robert Johnston. A fantastic supporter of the channel and a beautiful boy, probably. I don't know what you look like. I'm just going to assume you look beautiful. Because you lent me money. You must be. I have a Medivac. Should I upgrade to the Galaxy? Depends what you want to use your ship for. I don't think you're going to get much difference in the Medivac to the Galaxy, other than the Galaxy being able to be changed into other modes by changing its facilities. So if you're looking just for that medical gameplay, I think the Medivac's probably fine enough. What else we got? Do you think ships like the Endeavour can be effectively used as listening ships, like telescope attachments in Pyro? So the telescope module and stuff like that is for finding anomalies and that sort of stuff, as far as I'm aware, science and exploration. Do you think there are ships that specialise in stealth, sort of interception and listening? So you're going for things like the Razor, is it the EX, which is supposed to be quite stealthy? You're going for things like the Mercstaron and the Herald, which might be able to do data interception, that sort of stuff. Should they add some lore that explains why we've been blockaded into the Stanton system? To be honest, they might have, and I've just sort of missed it. They sort of, in lore, they discuss it as if we're not blockaded. Do you know what I mean? Robert Johnston, thank you very much for the donation. You are my favourite. Galaxy was a likely buy, but when I saw a video comparing it to the Caterpillar, which I have, and since I had hoped, I have a Hope and an Apollo. So you've got the Hope, Endeavour, Hope module stuff for the giant hospital and an Apollo. Now I'm not so sure. Looks undergunned with a big blind spot. Yes, it is not a ship of war. And if you've already got the Apollo and you want medical gameplay, you almost certainly do not need that RSI Galaxy. If you've got a Hope and Apollo, you're mad. And maybe buy yourself some, Pisces C8Rs in game eventually. Like you can have a load of those. Those medical ambulances is going to be great. You might want to replace the Cutlass Reds depending on what sort of search and rescue you want, and maybe a fleet of both. Caterpillar as well. Caterpillar is going to be super modular. Going to be able to buy lots of different modules for that in a similar way to the Galaxy, but I suspect there's more modular choice with the Caterpillar. Thank you very much for that donation, you star. Especially when I'm about to go on holiday tomorrow. It makes holidays all worthwhile. What else we got? Back in the day, they said the Freelancer would be the largest ship that could fit through a small jump point. Do we know if that's still the case? No, we do not. We do not know exactly how jump points are going to work anymore, or if that's still the case. Do we think we'll see the Odyssey come out when Pyro's out? I do not think they're linked. I think we'll see Pyro first. I'm doing very well, thank you very much. A lot of people ask me that today. I'm doing well, thank you. I'm sort of super busy because I'm going on holiday tomorrow morning. So I'm getting, and I've got to do the last main day of the IAE today, and probably an RSI Galaxy ship buyer's guide today, and prep a video for tomorrow, because what I'm going to try and do is when I get to where my holiday is, I'll try and log in and do the last day of the sort of the best in show day of the IAE. That'd be a nice roundup, but I might not be able to, and I might just have to do a I might not have the good enough internet connection or graphics on my laptop, though I suspect it will be fine. We'll see what happens, eh? We've got loads of videos already planned. I'll probably be able to do one quick sort of video update for December as well. Do you have your video? Do you have your PC specs? Yeah, so I've got a 3080 and my GeForce boy, and I've got a 5950X CPU and 32 gigs RAM. How do you feel about spending money backing Star Citizen and a large portion of the development time going towards Squadron 42? Fine, because I'm also sort of into Squadron 42, not as much as I am Star Citizen, but Squadron 42's development aids Star Citizen's development. And it's important, like, once they get that game out as well, see it as an investment, because it will bring a load more people to Star Citizen and generate a huge amount more money in just sales for Squadron 42. Have you noticed any performance uplift in Gen 12 in 3.18? Can't talk about that, unfortunately. Do you think a CCU to the Galaxy will include a module? Oh, good question. Are they going to be selling the Galaxy and then the modules separately, or are they going to be selling the Galaxy with modules? I would expect you buy the Galaxy base and then modules separately. That's my expectation. The CCU would probably just be the Galaxy modulus. Do you think I will live long enough to see a playable version? I hope so, Daniel. I hope so. Do we know exactly when the new? And we've got a playable version of Star Citizen now. Well done, you're alive. Unless or not. Do we know exactly when the new flight systems are coming out? So the quantum mode and the fighting mode thing. Yeah. So basically, we're talking about master modes and the changes to travel mode, which is the QCM quantum control mode, and combat mode, which is SCM standard control mode, which basically goes, look, if you want to move fast, thank you so much for the money. Have a nice holiday. Oh, thank you. Bulldogger. Thank you for the money. A very precise amount of money. I suppose all money is a precise amount of money when you put it in numbers. But thank you very much. That is very kind, very generous. You beautiful boy, or girl. But demographically speaking, statistically speaking, you're a great guy. 98.2% of my audience is male, according to YouTube. But yes, so travel mode versus combat mode. Basically, in travel mode, you can cruise, travel fast above SCM speeds. You can quantum travel, and you can sort of quantum boost, sort of like doing a quick little boost of quantum. And you'll be able to do that blind, or at least without a waypoint into space. And you can detect things as well. Pew, and let's go in that direction. But you don't have your shields, and you don't have access to your weapons and things like that. But in standard control mode, you don't have access to quantum travel or cruise or go above your SCM speeds, but you have access to your shields and weapons. So that's going to be a big change. Do Banus? I don't know if they have genders. I suppose they probably do. I'll do some research and some art. Galaxy price estimate between $600 and $900. They are. Do we have any other questions I can answer quickly? This is that mouse will go. Will the 4090 help with frame rates? As long as you're not bottlenecking on your CPU, yes. Off to bed now. Keep the noise down. Good night, Samiyati and viewers. And fuck off, BoredGamer. Thanks. Roy Johnston, beautiful man, pays me money to tell me to go F myself. That's very much appreciated, Rob Johnson. You are literally a legend. Thank you very much, sir. Do you think that will make... I don't know what letters these mean. I am tired, though. will we be able to play Star Citizen on our refrigerator? And like we can with Skyrim. Maybe one day when refrigerators are powerful enough. Do you think the community speculating the prices gives CIG an indication of its price point? They are almost always already decided. I remember early on they had a concept ship with a bunch of cameras on it. Did that get scrapped? So there's the Reliant Mako, which is the news van, which is actually in game, but it doesn't have that gameplay yet. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. That will have news van reporting gameplay attached to it eventually. Maybe. It's supposed to have anyway. Do you think the Galaxy will have pilot guns? Yes, I suspect it has probably no manned turrets, but sort of like some remote turrets. Probably like a couple of remote turrets and some pilot guns. But it's going to not have a huge amount of weaponry. I don't know for sure. That's just what it roughly looked like to me. Is there any difference getting a ship OC rather than CCU? What? Hitch chat. Anyone? Can anyone weigh on whether I should upgrade my Vanguard Warden? I'm a solo player. Had the Warden for a few years. Now wanting a change. Yeah. Upgrade it to something else. I mean, Warden's cool. I'm much more a fan of the Sentinel. But it's going to be based on the gameplay that you want to have. And remember, you can get all the different stuff in game. What ship do you sort of want to start with? That's the way I'd look at it. On the topic of owning ships, I have what I have because I want to start the game with those. Yeah, totally agree. You think that the Galaxy will be better than the Carrack? They're different ships. Carrack, very much focused on exploration and general mission running as well. It's got quite a powerful loadout, weapon-wise. It's got a lot of stuff for its crew. The Galaxy, not going to be geared towards combat, so probably won't be a great mission runner. It's going to be more specialised in whatever modules you give it. Regarding 3.18, do you have any thoughts on people exploiting insurance claims to basically farm their own ships using salvage? Well, let's see if they can do that to start with and how that exactly works. I suspect the Clan Imperium will need to make sure that that's locked down. I suspect that salvaging a ship that's not been destroyed, soft destruction mechanics of 3.18, will be a crime. And then once it's been destroyed, well, someone had to destroy that ship. So what happens if you decide to detonate your own ship? That's a good question. And someone comes along and salvages it. And what would you say a well-rounded all gameplay loops ship lineup with a purchased in-game or with real cash? You could start with something just like a Mercury Starrunner or a Corsair, and you'd probably be gold. But start with just an Avenger Titan or something, and you'd probably be like, have great fun for a long period of time before wanting to expand your ship or go into a larger one. Do you think the triage will function like a space hospital or just a super fancy ambulance? I think it will be like a small hospital, like genuinely, because you can set it up with the tier 1, tier 2, tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 sort of facilities. Dear Supreme Leader, I asked what you think about Pyro that was shown in Jack's Adventure. What do you think about people and crabs and stuff? Yeah, I liked the writing. I liked the way it looked. Obviously, they had the Thorshoe crab models in there for ages. Thought the skits were all absolutely fantastic. CIG, don't pay me. I'm not a... did Zin quit? No. She has today off and the next week off because we're on holiday. CIG doesn't pay me at all. They do occasionally give me a free ship for giveaway, which they give me entirely strings attached. No strings attached. Entirely strings attached, like a puppet. No strings attached. And if they were any strings, I would not accept it. And in fact, I would say, they're saying I can have this ship. And this is why I've refused it, because it's strings attached. And for quite a long while, I was like, no, I don't want to be shillified by you at all. But I've realised that I do cover quite a lot of Star Citizen, and I'm fine with just full disclosure. obviously I have to sign NDAs for certain things, like office doors, and I'm an Evocati member. I'm sort of fine with that sort of jazz. I do really, really love Star Citizen. I've got a lot of friends at CIG, but I'm always going to produce a lot of news, whether it's negative or positive. I'm pretty hype about Star Citizen. I'm generally a more positive person when talking about stuff, so that's my bias. But yeah, Cloud Imperium don't pay me at all. They don't even sort of pay me in an indirect way beyond giving me an occasional ship for giveaway, which I believe they give to most of the moderately high-tier creators. Odds on the RSI falling flat on its face in an hour, despite the current herd of stampeding drama llamas around the galaxy. What? Bob Mitch? Bob Mitch, I don't really understand what's happening with the drama, because I look at the forums and I look at Reddit and just go, people are allowed to talk about these sort of things, but I don't see it as more than people talking. I don't agree with the drama around these ships, typically. Like, I obviously was really annoyed when they sold land claims. I thought it was super tone deaf. And so that was the other thing that I was really annoyed about, was when they did the Gamescom, or they did the first person did it, 2,000 referrals, sort of thing. That was, and then showed off a load of content creators codes and said, maybe you should use these guys' codes. I was like, that's not fair. You're just done a little competition for very specific people. That's not cool. So I know they're expanding the new offices in Manchester. Are they expanding notifications? Yes. So they've got a new office in I think it's the One building in Frankfurt. So they've got a bigger office there now. They're going to be expanding their Austin studios at some point in the not too distant future, I believe. So yeah, they are expanding their other studios as well. Do we know what size ships the Polaris can hold? Redeemer, maybe. I think the Redeemer's a bit too big, but it can hold up to like a heavy fighter sort of size, I believe. Do you feel that the hate directed towards Cloud Imperium is being blown out of proportion, especially when we take into account development time for programmers versus concept artists? Number one, for the most part, I don't see I don't see much hate being chucked towards them. I mean, obviously, there's some people that are just there to cause trouble or just to rile people up on the internet, whatever. I see some valid criticism, and I see some people just wanting to talk about things that they go, well, I don't agree with what Cloud Imperium are doing, and that's fine. They should be able to talk about that. And I think what happens is that there's a lot of polarization after people start those conversations. Then you get bad actors in those conversations who act dramatically or actively try and derail or just, piss each other off. That is what I do not like. I do not like the lack of civility in a conversation, because you want to be able to represent all these different points of view, have a bit of melting pot of ideas, and then talk about these things. Sphinx, Sphinx RC, thank you very much for the donation. Very much appreciated, sir. Couldn't see a name though. What's the best light fighter to work with a Polaris? It depends what you want to do with it. Literally, the best light fighter is situational. Yeah, don't spend anything you can't afford to lose when it comes to buying ships. Just get a starter package. That's all you need. That's all you need. Can I have a giveaway in the future? Well, there'll certainly be giveaways on the channel. Next month's December giveaway is for Corsair. There's been no new updates on the hull beam, no. Also, if a bounty hunting would work, yeah. It's got a load of firepower. As long as it's dead or alive, probably dead. However, that said, you could probably set it up with a load of sort of stun weaponry and all that sort of jazz. Do you think we'll see a rival for the chances? We talked about that earlier. Any other things I can answer quickly? I did not realise that I'd gone over an hour. If we get the Warbond Cutter IAE pack, but the Squadron 42 add-on with store credit, will the cutter still be giftable? So I believe anything you add to a package. So if the original pack is bought with real money, then any CCUs you add to it can be bought with store credit. I believe, and the main package is still giftable, even with the CCUs on it. I believe that is still the case. Can a Vanguard fit officially in a Polaris or a Liberator? I don't know. Also, things that will fit in the Polaris may change because we don't know 100% know until it's in our hands. You know what I mean? Liberator will be able to fit on the Liberator. Do we expect any mechanic changes for 3.18? Yes. I've got a video coming out on that later in the week with all the updates and some mechanic changes that we are expecting. There's a sneak peek in the weekly update. Looks like an alien ship. What are your thoughts? So, didn't it look like... bring this up on screen. Very much. People are sending me money. Simon, thank you very much for the money. If I haven't already thanked you, start, you beautiful boy. In a donation. Surveys. No. Aerospace Industries Weekly. Yes. Let's remove this signifier and go here. So Xi'an ship, clearly. Is that not just the Santok Yai from above? Santok. So my expectation is that it's just the evolved Santok Yai from above, right? The 4 engines, sort of shape of it, right? What do you think? What do people think? You think it might be a Santok Yai? Definitely Xi'an. Yeah, it's got to be the Santok Yai. The angle at the back, the angle at the front, the sort of... Does it have a spiky nose? I think it looks like a proboscis. Yeah, it's a spiky nose. Yeah. My expectation is just the update to the Santok Yai. Probably, question mark. Some people say 100% the landed Santok Yai top. I never say 100%, but it does look likely, eh? Yeah, so about 40 minutes time, the ships change over in the hall. So I'm just going to quickly go through the rest of the questions I can see. How will the Vandal masks stay in the inventory after the 3.18 wipe? They might get that. I believe they're getting attached to your RSI website account. So you'll see it in your hangar. Does the Galaxy have a med bay if you don't have the med bay module? Yeah, I don't think it does as standard, but we'll find out pretty soon. Atlas Rand Gaming? Thank you very much for the sub. I had to say your name. My brain melted. Did they mention the Galaxy having a med bed in it without the medical module? That's a beautiful. That's a great question. That's literally what I asked. Enjoy your holiday. Thank you very much. That's very kind. Thank you. Do you think the combat changes will make the 2 hardest bounty levels impossible solo? They are supposed to be pretty hard, if not impossible solo. Nothing's impossible in Star Citizen, but it would be very hard. This Mechanic Games, thank you very much for the sub. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Prime subs, the YouTube subs, the join button subs. Thank you, the legends. Have CIG confirmed that the character will have modules? I'm pretty sure they have. They've definitely talked about it having modules and it probably being modular. So I would say that it's not 100% confirmed, but it is likely. What do you think the role of the triage will be? Sort of a cross between a hospital and an ambulance. It is a mobile hospital. It's yeah. Why do you want to play Skyrim on a refrigerator? That's as we know, the Galaxy is being announced. What is the galactic surprise we're getting? Well, we could see some cool little skits and things from Jax today. Right. No, I did not say officially 200%. No. How effective will the Mantis be? So, the Mantis will have a reasonable range at pulling ships out of quantum. Oh, thank you very much. Cranky old man. I appreciate the sub. 4 months in a row. Thank you. Very much appreciated. So the Mantis will be a relatively effective quantum interdictor for preventing ships from going into quantum and pulling them out of quantum. But that said, we're going to have to wait a little bit longer, probably after the resource management system, before we see how this sort of like plays out properly.
Thank you for all you do for the
Oh, thank you so much.
Board.
That's my Dean. Thank you very much for the sub as well. And thank you very much for everyone that's given me donations and sub today. That's a lot of people, a lot of little subs and donations and things. That's thank you. I will enjoy my holiday even more. It makes the slogging through. So November is a super busy time for me. So sort of CitizenCon till mid-December are incredibly busy. It's not the best planned holiday, but it's the time that the year that my mates wanted to go on holiday. So we will try to go if possible. But I suppose it's a nice cool period between the IAE sort of, although it's during the IAE, the end, and before 3.18 gets released. So I'm really looking forward to that. We've got a beautiful NordVPN ad for December that we've already recorded. Why do they waste time with the 600 IRAC when they need to redo it very soon? Well, because they might not have might not be the whole rack. It might just be everything except for the rear part. Yeah, they could do the parts that haven't changed as the wreck. Also, the decision to allow ship destruction after soft death. Don't you think that will result in many players to simply destroying ships after to save time and reduce risk? Maybe. So the thing is that you destroy a ship. Players might then be able to escape or eject after soft destruction. They haven't confirmed that or not yet. But obviously, once the ship's soft destroyed but hasn't exploded, you can then potentially shoot it more, although these mechanics might change before 3.18 comes live. Shoot it more to make it explode, doing a load more damage to it, even after it's destroyed. If you see what I mean, we'll have to wait and see. Like, boarding and taking the cargo, that might be very profitable. What RSI ship paints would you like to see today? Not really into the paints beyond I want full customization of my ship with its paints, which we're getting eventually. Do you think the Prospector will fit in the Galaxy's hangar? Yes, I do. That's what it looks like to me. And that would make sense, right? Because you're going to set it up for being a refinery ship. Do you think the Galaxy will be a limited release? Not this time, no. Don't know if it will be in the future, but certainly not this time. How do you think the C1 and /A1 will compete with the Cutty? So really, we're talking about the C1 competing with the Cutty because the A1's more of a bomber. I think they are direct competitors, the C1 Spirit and the Cutlass. And I am now tending towards the C1 Spirit because I really like the way it looks. John Crew recently stated if the whole ship dev team worked on one large ship, it would take a year to finish. At this rate, it would take 32 years to finish the backlog. Is this acceptable? Well, that's not acceptable, but maybe he was talking about one of the ship teams. Or the current ship team that was working on a particular ship. Like, if they set up a load of ship teams and got moved people from environment and that were working on Squadron 42 ships and stuff, who all just working on ships 4-star sets now, they could get a load of them done in 1 year. But if you're talking about a huge ship from start to finish, a big capital ship, it probably would take about a year. And though maybe not that long. 32 years would not be acceptable, but that's not how the game development's working. Right. I am going to dash off. Now that you've all sent me money and subscribed and clicked on likes and things, I am going to dash off because the IAE is going to start in about 35 minutes. I want to hom nom nom nom, eat some foods quick, and then get some videos out. So one for the RxA Galaxy, assumedly, based on it going on sale and concept, and then the RSI day at the expo. And then you can expect loads of videos to be coming out that I've already pre-recorded for next week, and maybe a couple that I will record while I'm away. But genuinely, thank you so much for spending a lot of time with me. We've got a load of viewers today, so thank you very much for that. Over 500 on YouTube's, which is fantastic. And yeah, that's very much appreciated. I'm going to find someone else to throw over to. If you've got suggestions for videos or feedback or things that you want to ask or whatever, you can get me at contact@boredgamer.co.uk or on my Discord, discord.gg/boredgamer. If you see that you've won a prize, it's probably a scam on my YouTube channel. I announce the winners of prizes on my Reddit and on the first update video of the month. So the December update will have the winners this time. And then I also comment under your comment saying, look at the description in my video, and that will explain how to get in contact with me. I'll never say go a weird place. You can always email me, rich@boredgamer.co.uk or contact@boredgamer.co.uk or giveaway@boredgamer.co.uk as well to check. But don't go other places. Don't go to Telegram. Don't go off weird apps. Don't phone people. Who we got online? I'm going to pass you over to Morphologist because he makes beautiful content. He's a beautiful boy. And he's a good mate, and I wish him all the best. He makes much prettier looking content than I do, but does he make daily content? No, that's what I do. Slash raid. Is it slash raid or at raid? I've forgotten how to use the internet. No. Perfect. I will also link to Morphs. Strem. Boop. Copy link. Paste link. Perfect. Genuinely, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm sure some. So actually, let's discuss this. I'm sure some YouTubers are on RSI's payroll, but you don't. PG represent those who don't agree. A joke. What? But you don't. PG represent those who don't agree. A joke. I'm not sure what that last bit is, but I don't think any content creators are on Callum Pyram's payroll, as far as I'm aware, and I probably would be aware. I've got friends at CIG. I'll poke around, but I'm pretty sure they're not. And they can get people to make content just by offering them ships and just going. I don't think they need to incentivize the community more than they already have. And I'm pretty sure they don't pay people. I wish they did. Then I'd be earning a lot more money, eh? Genuinely, thank you for joining me today, guys. Love you loads. Have a great weekend. Hope you enjoy the rest of the IAE. And thank you very much for watching my videos. And thanks for all your money. Woo! See you later.